Hello, everybody. In today's lesson, we're going to be looking at two things. We're going to be looking at reflections as a transformation, and then also mixed transformations. So let's start with a reflection. So a reflection of a function in the x-axis occurs when f of x becomes negative f of x. So let's have a look at an example. So here's our trusted friend, the quadratic function, where we have f of x equals x squared. So if I reflect that in the x-axis, which is right here, it's going to look like that. And the function will change so that instead of being positive x squared, it will be negative x squared. So let's use this information and look at some mixed transformations. So here's our first one here. So here we have a square root function, and you can see that we have the function right here. So because of the negative in front, that means that we're going to have to reflect this function. So what you want to do is you can pick any of these points right here, and you're just going to equally reflect it over the x-axis. So if this is the point 1, 1, I'm going to reflect it over here to the point 1, negative 1, and that will be our only transformation here. It's just a reflection. So let's look at a couple of other examples where we maybe have more than one transformation. So here's such one. Again, we got the square root function, and we have a negative sign in front, which means that we're going to have some kind of reflection. And then we also have a negative 4 here, which means that we're going to have some kind of translation. So I would always start with the reflection first in this particular case. So we're going to have the reflection over the x-axis. So that means we're going to bring it down to here. And then we want to move this function 4 downwards because it's coming at the end of the function and it's not in any parentheses. So we're going to take this green point and we're going to move it down 4 like that. So that would be the transformation of that particular function. All right, let's start to get a little bit more elaborate. All right, so here we are. Actually, you know what? Let's start with a slightly different one. Let's start with a cubic function. And here we have the plus 5 on the inside. So again, it doesn't really matter for this one which order you do it in. So we're going to reflect this point over the x-axis because that's what our negative value means. And then we've got this plus 5 inside the parentheses. So this is going to be a horizontal shift. So because it's positive 5, we're going to move it back negative 5. So that's what the transformed function would look like. All right, now let's take it up a notch. So let's add more than one transformation. So here we have an absolute value function. So if we look at this, we've got a negative in the front, we've got a 3 on the inside, and a 1 on the outside. So we've got three things going on. We're going to be reflecting the function over the x-axis, and we're going to be moving this function 3 to the left and 1 upwards. So let's go ahead and reflect it first. So again, I can start off with this point 1, 1, then reflect it over the x-axis. So it looks like that. So that's our first transformation. Now I'm going to move it to the left 3 because I got a positive 3 right there. So move it to the left 3 so it looks like that. And then we've got this plus 1 right here, which means I'm going to move it up 1. So I'm just doing it in stages right there. So that's what our transformed function would look like. All right, let's just do one last example here. All right, so here we have a quadratic function. We've got a lot of negatives going on. So we're obviously going to have a reflection. We're going to be moving it. In this case, we're going to be moving it to the right 2. And because of the negative 3 there, that means we're going to do a vertical shift of down 3. So again, let's go ahead and reflect it. So we reflect it over the x-axis. Okay. We're now going to move it to the right 2. So just move it to the right 2 like that. And then finally, we're going to move it down 3. So we've got this vertical shift here, this negative 3 at the end there. So there we go. That's what your function's going to look like. All right, so that's pretty much all there is to mixed transformations when you're dealing with reflections and horizontal shifts and vertical shifts. If you need any help with this or you have any other questions, please just reach out to us whenever you want. All right, take care, everybody, and have a great day.